Welcome to the Game of Goats tutorial on how to play the Goat Numbers game. I'll be using the prototype cards because I don't have the mass-produced ones delivered yet. So the first thing you'll do when you play Goat Numbers game is deal 5 cards to each player. I've already done that, and I'm playing as though there are 2 players. You could play up to 5. So you have a Goat Numbers game instruction card in your pack, which tells you how to play. It also tells you the goal. The goal is to have the best possible starting 5. That means that you should have every position covered. You want the lowest ranked players you can in each position, and you want all the players to be from the same era. So we'll make this our hand, and let's have a look. I like to organize the cards by position so that it's easier to look at. So what we've got is the number 2 center of the 80s and 90s, the number 3 and number 5 power forwards of the aughts and 10s, and the number 4 small forward and number 4 point guard. We don't want 2 power forwards, we want a full team. We would also like all the players to be from the same era and all the players to have the lowest possible rank for their position for their era. But let's see what happens if we just try and get that full team. So, obviously, of the 2 power forwards, we'd rather have the lower rank than the higher rank, so we'll get rid of him, and we'll bring in a new player, and we've got our full team, so might as well leave well enough alone. We could have discarded and drawn up to 3 cards the first time, and the second time we can discard and draw up to 2. Let's look at our opponent's hand. Again, I like to organize them. So our opponent has drawn 2 centers, 2 small forwards, and a point guard. That's not a very good hand, but they do have a number 1 small forward from the aughts and 10s. Still, they need to get rid of one of their small forwards. Obviously, get rid of this one, because he's got a higher rank. And they need to get rid of one of their centers. I guess we get rid of this one, again, just for the sake that it's a number 4 instead of a number 3. And instead, we draw 2 new cards. Another small forward, that's not going to help us. And another small forward. We've got too many small forwards. Even though it sounds crazy, we're going to get rid of the number 1 small forward because he plays for a different era. And that's going to be a source of points, and points are a bad thing in this game. And we need to get rid of another small forward and hope that we can draw a power forward and a shooting guard right now. We've got our power forward in the same color, so that's great. But we do not have a shooting guard. We've got yet another power forward. So then how do we score? Well, we've got 2 power forwards, a center, a small forward, and a point guard. So how do we score that up? Well, these 2 power forwards, since we've got 2 players playing the same position, we add 5 points for each player. So now we're up to 10. Then we would add any points for players who don't play in the same era as the rest of the team. However, all these play in the same era, so that's good. So now we add the ranks from all the players combined. So we were at 10 for the 2 power forwards, 15, 25, 27. So this hand is worth 27. This hand, on the other hand, has a full team, so they don't need to add anything in terms of positions, but they have 2 players from a different era, so there's 10 points right there. Then if you add up the rest, you go 15 and 19, 23, 27. Believe it or not, this is a draw, a tie. These 2 teams are exactly evenly matched. So I guess they would split the pot.